federal government is giving Maryland its first $60 million towards cleaning up and rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Of course, that's just a drop in the bucket for what will be needed. The bridge collapsed earlier this week after a cargo ship struck it. A massive 1,000-ton crane is expected to arrive overnight to clear the river of mangled metal and containers. So far, 2 bodies have been recovered, and 4 others are missing and presumed dead, believed to be trapped in a vehicle beneath concrete and steel that fell into the water. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says he remains hopeful the rest of the bodies will eventually be recovered. This as Scott faces a new challenge on a different front: racist conspiracy theories surrounding the bridge's collapse. Some Republicans and right-wing pundits are attempting to connect the tragedy to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. Here's how the mayor responded to those racist attacks.
We know what they want to say, but they don't have the courage to say the N-word. And the fact that I don't believe in their untruthful and wrong ideology, and I am very proud of my heritage and who I am and where I come from, scares them.
Joining us now, MSNBC political analyst Brendan Buck. Brendan was a communications strategist and former aide to House Speakers Ryan and Boehner. So, Brendan, Republican Congressman Dan Mueser weighed in on President Biden's promise to use federal funding to replace that critical shipping artery in Baltimore to repair the bridge and the port. Let's take a listen.
It was kind of outrageous immediately for Biden to express in this tragedy the idea that he's going to use federal funds to pay for in entirety. I mean, you know, he doesn't refer to it as the American taxpayer dollars on anything. You know, the first reaction, in fact, the only reaction, just tends to be to spend.
So Brendan has noted $60 million on its way, but this is a rebuilding price tag. It's going to be in the billions, most likely. Am I wrong that when there have been other disasters like this, other bridge collapses, the federal government moved in a bipartisan way and moved swiftly? Talk to us about this very polarized rhetoric, and should we expect to hear more of it from House Republicans?
Yeah, that's right. In 2007, a bridge in Minnesota collapsed over the Mississippi, and Congress acted within a few days, unanimously passing hundreds of millions of dollars to rebuild. Look, I expect Congress is going to provide funding to rebuild the bridge, but this is a whole different era. 2007 feels like a million years ago. We've seen this repeatedly, whether it's not just a bridge collapse, but natural disasters. You always end up having a lot of conservatives say, well, this doesn't need to be the federal government's responsibility, or they push back, or they find some reason to say they shouldn't vote for it. And then when it happens in their neighborhood, they sound a little different. There will absolutely be conservatives who push back on this. There does happen to be one member who will be, I think, relatively important. Andy Harris of Maryland represents the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and he's a House Freedom Caucus member. I think he will be an important voice or at least a liaison to the more conservatives in the House to get them along. But the shape of the deal is also, I think, going to be really interesting. We know this is not just a bridge collapse. This is also going to be a significant economic disruption, not just to Maryland and Baltimore, but the entire country. And I'll be interested to see whether the Biden administration requests some type of economic support for the city, and that may get conservatives crossed. But I expect they'll be able to come together in a bipartisan way. The issue is just how much grief is Mike Johnson going to get from conservatives for once again spending more money.
Such key points there about the Republican hypocrisy when the disasters in their area, and just a sad commentary about how polarized things are right now and how the House Republicans act. Speaking of House Republicans acting out, Marjorie Taylor Greene, as we know, about a week or so back, began efforts to try to oust Speaker Johnson. It's unclear exactly where that's going. So give us your analysis. Could this blow back on MTG, or could she have more help with news that Speaker Johnson is talking to President Zelensky and seems more apt to aid Ukraine?
Yeah, as we've discussed before, I think this is entirely about Ukraine. She framed it as about the last spending bill, but I think she is trying to get ahead of what Johnson has said is the next priority, which is funding for Ukraine. Look, Johnson is being much more forward-leaning on this issue than I actually expected him to be. I mean, he's outright said that this is their next priority, and if he wasn't serious about it, I don't know why he would say that. So I expect if Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to try to make this motion, it will be around Johnson trying to move money for Ukraine. And I do think it could completely blow up on her in that I find it very hard to see Democrats doing to Kevin McCarthy what they did, or doing to Mike Johnson what they did to Kevin McCarthy. As we know, it only takes a few Republicans to do this if all the Democrats are voting with them. But if all the Democrats are not voting with them, then this could easily fail, and this threat that's been hanging over speakers for a long time could quickly go away, and it may ease passage for Ukraine funding.
Yeah, it does feel like we may be approaching a bit of an inflection point. Brandon Buck, terrific analysis as always. We will talk to you again very soon.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.